So you finally listened to my advice. You proactively reached out to a reporter or media outlet about a legal dispute or case that you're working on in the hopes of shining a public spotlight on the case or telling your client's side of the story. But now what? In this video, I'll tell you how you should go about following up with reporters when you engage them about your cases. Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollock. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys and their clients ethically, strategically, and proactively engage the court of public opinion to help those clients resolve their cases favorably and to help those attorneys build their practices. I wanted to talk in this video about following up with reporters. Chances are when you contact a reporter, which primarily the first time around should be through email, you are not going to get a response within the next few minutes or even within the hour. Typically speaking, reporters are busy just like you and I are. They're busy writing or researching their articles. They're out on the street doing interviews or conducting some other kind of research that pulls them out of their office. So I wouldn't worry about you not getting a response sometime relatively quickly after you email a reporter or call them. But what happens after that? How should you handle your follow-up? My advice is generally I would wait 24 hours before I follow up with a reporter with a second email. So your first email is the introductory email informing them about whatever you want to inform them about. And then 24 hours later, I would stick to email again to follow up. And then after that, maybe 24 to 48 hours later, I would go with a phone call to follow up there. You have to remember that reporters are inundated day after day and really hour after hour by PR pitches. The vast majority of PR pitches and pitches from other people and executives are not going to be what that reporter is likely to cover. So they're inundated with essentially meaningless and not valuable emails. So your perhaps valuable email might get lost in the shuffle. So you're going to need to follow up with reporters. But you have to be careful not to do it so quickly so as not to agitate them or to give them a bad impression about who you are and what you are trying to do for your client. I would follow up with reporters, as I said, about 24 hours after to 48 hours after with my second email, and then another 24 to 48 hours after with a phone call. And I'd be quick. I'd say, hi, so-and-so, I emailed you yesterday about a lawsuit that I think you're interested in. I think you would be interested in. I'm not sure if you saw it. Did you see my email? If so, do you have any questions? If you didn't see my email, I can forward it to you, so it's at the top of your email inbox. I can follow up with you tomorrow or the day after. You want to have a dialogue. You want to be polite. You want to be cognizant and respectful of their time and their deadline pressures. I would tend to follow up earlier in the day as opposed to later in the day. Nowadays, reporters have 24/7 deadlines with online news being as fast coming as it is. Long gone are the days where they had a 3 o'clock deadline or 4 o'clock deadline for the print version of the paper the next day. So reporters are always on deadline. So I would typically try to follow up earlier in the day, unless they tell you to call them or email them later in the day. So follow up earlier, be respectful of the time, be quick. This is basically a sales call. This is not necessarily an opportunity for you to have a 10, 15-minute conversation. You want to just direct them to your pitch email, to the information you sent them, let them digest it on their own time, let them read it on their own time, and then get back to you. And you'll notice this 24, 48-hour kind of loop that I'm suggesting could be a problem if you have some kind of breaking news that you're concerned is not going to be as newsworthy a day or two later. My solution would be to reach out to a reporter ahead of time. If you're filing a case on a Monday, reach out to them the Wednesday or Thursday before to give them a heads up. If you're filing a motion on Friday, reach out to them on Monday or Tuesday. You want to give them as much time as possible, and that's feasible based on your legal strategy, to get a feel for what this story is about or the reason why you're pitching them. You want to give them enough time to do their research and help them. So when the story is newsworthy because of the court filing, then you will hopefully have had that perfect equilibrium, the perfect balance of timeliness, but also giving them enough advance notice so that they can write a substantive article for you or on behalf of the media outlet concerning the case that isn't a 300-word quickie online only blurb. Again, you're going to need to follow up with reporters more often than not based on how busy they are. I would suggest that you do it politely. You do it 24 to 48 hours after your previous instance of reaching out to them. And I would try to keep it to maybe 1 or 2 follow-ups. After that, most likely they've seen the email, they've gotten your follow-up emails, and they're not interested. If you have a known issue of your email going to that media outlet spam filter, fine. That's a different story. But generally speaking, if you've talked to reporters before and they haven't gotten back to you within 2 to 3 times of you following up, chances are they're not interested. But by being smart and strategic about how you follow up, you'll hopefully avoid agitating them and you will not negatively impact your relationship with that reporter. So balance respect with being thorough in terms of following up, and I think you'll find that you will be warmly received by reporters when you actually do follow up with them.